Oh, we're live right now. No intro, nothing. Thanks, Shane. Well, thanks everybody for joining in. We are a live breaking news. Yeah, we're live. Uh, Thanks for joining in, guys, for an impromptu live breaking news episode of the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Media Network. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Bushman, and with me is Drew. We've got some breaking news that broke probably about an hour and a half ago that there is an impending or an intent to sell or an intent to buy the Tampa Bay Rays from Stu Sternberg for an X amount of money, where the team is now valued at $1.7 billion. Kurt Badenhausen from Sportico did break this news about 2 hours ago that there is advanced talks with the Tampa Bay Rays to sell the Rays to Jacksonville home builder Patrick Zalupski and a group of other investors that are tied to the Tampa Bay area. So this is an advanced talks. We don't know how long this is going to be, how long the sale will probably take, if it even happens. Remember, the intent to sell is just an intent to sell. It's not a binding contract or anything like that. Drew, reactions. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think we lost Drew.
Where?
There we go.
Me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Got me? All right, sorry. Yeah, I'm pretty shocked, to be honest with you. All right. Am I back? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. I disappeared on my own screen for a minute, so I knew that. It probably didn't mean good things. Anyway, yeah, shocked. Really excited to see what's going to happen here. I don't really know, obviously, much. We don't know much about the group other than just the names, and obviously, a little bit about where they get all their money from. So I think the biggest thing I want to know, you see that it's a Jacksonville developer, and the groups that we've been hearing about before this, right before the season started, were more. I don't remember these guys, any of these names being a part of it, and so interesting to see that it's a Jacksonville-based developer. You wonder what that means long term. I don't think it means that they're moving to Jacksonville necessarily. I don't. That's not what comes into my mind. But it's just given that it's a new name and kind of a more of an unknown group of people than what we've been hearing in the past, like the Dex Imaging guy and a few others. Yeah, just kind of shocking. I'm just I'm more interested to see what it means, like I said, long term. And if I guess I always just imagined that it would be a group in Tampa because of the issues that Stu's had with politically, and just kind of almost as if he's an outsider a little bit, and just his inability to get something done in the area. In my mind, I just always pictured it being more of a local businessman, someone with obviously strong ties to the Tampa area that would be able to get something like a new stadium done and kind of cool off the hot temperatures between the Rays and the politicians. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I think it could be a really good thing. Obviously, I mean, I would hope that it means that if it happens, that we're one step closer to the Rays getting a stadium done in Tampa, and hopefully one step closer to this team kind of reaching a new level of uh, competitiveness and resources financially. Now that there's a potential for a new ownership group to come in. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is, look, we're both on the optimistic side when it comes to sales of the team, especially with Stu Sternberg having so many deals that have fallen through. But I think with this, since this is kind of like the first time we've seen or heard of like advanced talks with the team being sold. And now look, we've been kind of talking about this for a while, and our good friend JP Peterson has been on this topic for the very longest time, and even especially when talking about the possible sale of the team, a few months ago. He did mention a secret group, and he did confirm today on the JP Peterson show that this was the secret group that he did mention when they were talking about a secret group that had not been named, other than the two other groups that were named in the possible report of the sale. So this is the secret group. So my reaction is, look, until it happens, it's just one of those things where, okay, here we go again. But I think with the news that has come out where there's advanced talks, there is an intent to buy. I think that's a good thing. Now, the Jacksonville group is kind of a curveball that came kind of like out of right field too, because it's a Jacksonville group. But I think the good thing about what was said in the reports that were put out was it has Tampa Bay investors, and I think that's a good thing too, because that kind of look, anything can happen with new ownership. If this happens, anything can happen. But I think with ties with Tampa and you have Tampa Bay investors, I think you can kind of put the Orlando move kind of out of the question now. That's not going to happen. So the Orlando Dreamers, sorry, it's probably not going to happen for you guys.
Still a dream.
Yeah, still a dream. Keep dreaming, you Dreamers. And then moving the team to Jacksonville is probably out of the question too, because not only has MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said, look, Tampa Bay is a viable market. We want the team to stay in Tampa, and then also Governor Ron DeSantis too, which DeSantis is really close with the lead investor of the group. So there's ties there as well. So there is everything kind of ties back to keeping the team in Tampa. And I think this is a good thing too. Look, if this new ownership group comes in, that means, deeper pockets and, you can sign guys to big contracts, bring in the superstars. Kyle Tucker is going to be we hope
that's what that means.
Kyle Tucker is a free agent next season, and he has told people he would love to play for Tampa, just not at the Trop. So, things could be in the works. But again, this is like, these are all like, hey, there's something that's brewing. It could happen, but there's also where Stu could put a wrench in the mix of it and just screw the whole thing up. So I'm hopeful it happens. I think a lot of people are hopeful it happens, because this is the kind of first signs of life we've seen about a possible sale of the team.
I will say the biggest difference for me is that this is, unless I'm wrong on this, I don't think I am. I don't remember the Rays ever coming out and saying something officially.
No, and they did release a statement.
You had obviously the stuff. Yeah, and so they acknowledged it, and I think so. To me, I know they didn't say anything. It wasn't like, yeah, we're selling the team. It was, yeah, there's been discussions. They've been officially acknowledged that there's been talks. Obviously, besides the political stuff happening with the new stadium and everything, the team has never officially come out, even with all those other reports that were happening in March with these other groups and stuff. And we heard Matt Silverman go on WDAE and say that the team's not for sale. And those types of things. So they've never officially acknowledged anything like that happening before. So the fact that they've gone out and done this, now it could be a situation where it got leaked and they're kind of forced to. I don't know.
Right.
Or you would like to think that it was, if it got out there, it's because they wanted it to get out there. So I tend to think that even though, yeah, their official statement didn't say a whole lot, the fact that they are even willing to acknowledge it as an actual, it's actually been talked about, and there are discussions, and this letter of intent's been signed, is a huge move forward, and the closest we've come to really ever getting a sale.
The official statement from Rays Baseball, this was posted on Twitter by Rays Baseball and also been tweeted out by everybody on X. The Tampa Bay Rays announced that the team has recently commenced exclusive discussions with a group led by Patrick Zalupski, Bill Cosgrove, Ken Baby, and prominent Tampa Bay investors concerning a possible sale of the team. Neither the Rays nor the group will have further comment during the discussion. And then there was another updated tweet from Mark Tompkin that the Rays would be expected to remain in the Tampa Bay area, which is another good thing. So that means Rays aren't going anywhere. They're probably going to stay
baby.
here. And
sell, baby.
Yeah. And I think what also too is, either if it's going to be in St. Pete or Tampa, either whatever locations. I know the county commissioners in St. Pete said they would open the discussion again if there's new ownership, which is good. We're possibly going to get Chris Latvala on the show on Friday, so he could probably maybe give some more insight on that. But if it goes either St. Pete or Tampa, it's a good thing. The Rays are going to stay in town. They're not going anywhere. If it's in the Tampa area, look, the fairgrounds is a viable option. Yep. To put the team there. Or look, there have been discussions with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where they are possibly thinking about putting in like almost a sports area section next to where Ray J is. So you could put a stadium next to Ray J in that area off of Dale Mabry and have a sports complex full of teams. So that's another option that's been floated around too. So there are things in the works that our feeble little minds don't know about because we are just podcasters and we're just relaying the message to everybody out there right now. But the possible sale of the Tampa Bay Rays is something that is in the works. The wheels are in motion. But look, everybody, don't celebrate early just yet. There's so many moving parts to this. Like I said before, things could get screwed up. Stu could say, you know what, that's not the price I want. I'm going to pull this deal out of and I'm not even going to do this. So just hold tight. Don't believe everything you read on Twitter that the team's going to be moving or all this and that, but you just got to hang tight and wait for more developments to happen, because I'm sure this is, you're going to hear about this all day for the rest of the day, and then you probably won't hear about this story until maybe the end of the week or maybe even early next week or maybe even longer than that, because something like this of this magnitude doesn't get resolved in a couple of days. Now, they said advanced talks. Advanced talks could mean, they could be done in a month, 2 months, 6 months, or by the end of the year. I say it's probably going to be done by the end of the year. That's what I said a couple months ago. Like, if the team is going to be sold, it's probably going to be the end of the year, but we shall see.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I know Top Gun came out and said they're going to expect to stay. Again, it just got to follow the money. Like, it would make no sense for them to move to Jacksonville. Like, that's why I was, I know people would hear, like I said, hear that he's from Jacksonville and worry. But one of the limited owners in the group is the head of Union. What was it? Union Home Mortgage, and they have been the title sponsor of the Gasparilla Bowl at Raymond James Stadium since 2020. So
so everything ties back to Tampa. Everything ties back to Tampa, so I think that's a good thing. We just got confirmed that we will have Chris Latvala on the show when we do our recording on Friday. So he will be a guest on our next episode to discuss this news that just happened and probably what it means for St. Pete, what it means for the city of St. Pete, and also for the city of Tampa too, if this possible sale goes through. So thanks for joining in, everybody. I know it's kind of like a breaking news kind of deal with the Rays Rewind podcast. We hardly ever go live, but I think today is rightfully so that we go live and break this news and talk about it real quick. But keep a lookout for our next episode, which will be recorded on Friday and probably drop the same day. So thanks for tuning in again for the Rays Rewind podcast, about the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Media Network. We will see you guys again. Peace.
See you.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind with Bushman and Drew on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.